Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. I realize she's way out of... There we go. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome back to another installment in the Quickviews. And God help us, we hope for an auspicious beginning. We hope for not an inauspicious beginning. Here in the Canyon, I feel like we've tested almost every permutation of a couple different tires. In the Canyon Trail, I think I'm missing one. The Terrain, which is the 2.2 that comes on the 6x. I haven't gotten to test that one. But in terms of Pitbull offerings, specifically the Rock Beast, I have tested two varieties of fake ones. I've tested the Comp, I've tested the Alien, and now we're going to close out, to my knowledge, I mean there's probably other fakes out there, the Pitbull Rock Beast XOR. Now, I'm a little more hopeful about this tread pattern. These are indeed Alien. XOR is an Alien. They claim 4.55 inches by 1.9, 1.9-1.9. Yeah, you can see it right there. Now, this is a Quickview. Look at this. How almost official is this? Rock Beast XOR. We'll put a little asterisk there because these tires arrived in my hands without foams. Now, I don't even know if they come with foams. They being a 4.55, or at least what claims to be a 4.55, I don't really have a foam that fit. I could have put anything in these. 120. This is a 4.65. And you see it's not domed. It's still really rounded off. That's a 4.65. So, operating under the assumption that they were a 4.55, I put a smaller foam in them. Not just a smaller foam. Why is it? Well, it's in pounds. We'll go back the other way. Oh, we don't quite hit it. 2.097. 949 grams. That's up there. And on these, the Enduro 105s with a tire that is a little smoother. We forgot to do the width. 949 is pretty good, and it achieves that 949 by being fitted with Enduro 40. Well, that's pretty wide. 47, a couple millimeters wider than what we'd typically see in a tire of this size. They're fitted with the Enduro dual stage with the red inner, not the blue inner, the red inner, which are the ones that are a little heavier. So these are pretty heavy. They feel okay. And I have no idea, I have no prior knowledge, I have no current knowledge of what type of foam comes with these. So, on the one hand, before we started doing science, we would just throw whatever in there. And now, it's kind of been, at least potentially unofficially decided, that a tire is tested on the foam that it comes with, for better or worse. The Pro lines that have been tested recently have all been tested on the included Pro line insert. Pro line inserts tend to be paper soft, like so soft, pillowy soft. So the side hill performance is always terrible, and the forward drive performance is always through the roof. So every Pitbull that we have tested in the past, regardless of the insert that it is fitted with, has been unremarkable. Or, in contrast, conversely, has been remarkable only in how feckless they have been, in how poor the performance has been. The Alien Rock Beast XL it stands out in my memory as one of the most utterly disappointing tires that have been tested here in the Canyon. It did really, really poorly. So I have much higher hopes. Against my own better judgment, I have higher hopes for the Rock Beast XOR. Perhaps, and it's not even a perhaps, it is because on my Go Fast stuff, on my SC8E, and on my custom-built 15-inch wheelbase, two-wheel drive short course truck, I ran the Rock Beast XOR SCTs for years, and they are brilliant. I love those tires. One of my favorite tires of all time. So when given the opportunity to test the Rock Beast XOR for rock crawlers, I was like, oh man. And they being a super soft compound, the alien compound, I am making an effort here. It is bright and oily in the morning. It is perfect conditions. This is near mirror conditions to the conditions that the Predator trenchers were tested in. They did remarkably well. They did really well, aside from the side hilling. So this guy should pull points in the side hill, but Pitbull just doesn't work here. I don't know if it's a humidity thing. I don't know what it is. So part of me wants it to do well. Part of me wants every tire to do well. There's the other dark part of me that is more in touch with reality and also knows that sometimes when they fail, it's every bit as entertaining as when they do well, if not more. These, based on the price, I just looked them up a moment ago on Amazon. These might be some of the most expensive 1.9 tires tested in the Canyon so far. $45 a pair for these. And then if we add in the cost of the Injora dual stage, we're getting it. I didn't even hear it. Boop, boop, boop. We're getting expensive. So we've talked that out. We know what we're in for. We've got something masquerading as science. We've got the breakdown for the Quickview. It's written in there. We're blowing out the color a little bit. Yep. Rock Beast XOR. We want our hopes high, but reality is down here. So, hey, maybe we can meet in the middle. While I make no claims to like a Hollywood quality, we are still in the nascent era of moving off of I carry everything I need for YouTube in my pocket in the form of a phone to like relevant, real deal Holyfield. We got microphone, we got field monitor, we got the whole thing, right? Weighs like 12 pounds. And I can tell you right now, color balancing at sunrise is brutal. So good luck to editor guy. I'm looking at the field monitor. I've got the color histogram up here. I'm looking in, one eye can see the monitor and one eye can see the rig. The color of the wheels in the camera and the color of the wheels in reality are two radically different things. So that's going to be fun later. The Pitbull Rock Beast XOR cares not about camera equipment. Come on. You don't even know. You don't know what a relief that was. It's a tiny smidge warmer than when the Predator trenchers were out here. It is currently 59 degrees, but the rocks should be plenty cool. They've been sitting in the cool all night. It was a fairly cool evening. We're on a cooling trend. I mean, I like this shape. I love the look of the Rock Beast. I have a soft spot for the XOR. Little pushy there. We're kind of mixing. We're mixing up the lines of attack here a little bit. Lesser beam. That was all right. Definitely not a pull over the top. Yeah, that was nice. I honestly don't know how big is the asterisk for this. Them being not fitted with OE foam. And also, oh, that's what I didn't look at. I know that the comp XORs do not come with foams. So we can just operate from a position of ignorance and claim that, oh, well, they don't come with foams, so you got to do whatever. Which I 100% support that. I think the price point should be lower for tires without foams. And in the case of the 2.2 XOR, the compound with a K, that is the case. They are much cheaper. Alien compound is expensive for whatever reason. And what we have seen here, we got one more pass at this right here. I've got a number. Yeah. And nothing that I saw in this realm or region affects that number, which is a 9.3. As I said, the scoring system here is a newborn. The numeric scoring system. We kind of went by feel. And the system is also new in that I don't have the ability to carry everything. I have to put a sharpened number 2 pencil in my pocket, which is a great idea. Looking at the low here. Oh, do it. Do it. Get right there. Come on. Positionability is pretty good. We'll take a left cut if that's what it takes. Oh, there we go. Little stumbles. The foam is acting appropriately transparent. I am not noticing the foam at all. Now there is a little bit of slipperiness to them that it's not early morning dew. We didn't get anywhere near a dew point. I feel exactly the same right here as I did right over there, and I'm pointing at things that you can't see. When we're at Slick Rock over in Dry Bone Valley Complex, I said 9.3. Here at Daphne's, I already wrote it down. That is a straight up 9.3. Now, other tires are not given this potential asterisk of an advantage, which is like right here. If you've watched a couple of these, you've noticed many a tire fall into a little hole right there, go right up on its side, because a particularly soft single stage open cell foam is going to betray you in this situation. These tires have an inarguable advantage. The inserts are heavy. Oh. I don't think I can turn down. Let's try. Yeah. Oh. Okay. So the entry line was suboptimal. That's on me. But I have a number, and we will see. Is that number going to be adjusted by hitting it a second time? See, I can go in here pretty brazenly, kind of just manhandle it around. I want to try that higher shot. This is what I usually try to overcome the soft foam. That's where a soft foam will slide you. That one tire was just in space. Yeah, okay. So this side hill is pretty good, but I feel like the insert is really helping that out. And I feel like the score that it was gonna get for this side hill, a little too, so we are going to deduct half a point for insert penalty. This was gonna be a 9.2, this is gonna be an 8.7. Because honestly, the first roll in, I was like, oh, like a 9, then I went 9.1, and then that correction, that ability to correct right there on the side hill, I was like, wow. 9.3, 9.4, which is a stellar side hill score, but we've got to try to erase that asterisk a little bit. As we move here to Station 4 at the Beast, where I have never attempted directly at sunup. I mean, this is the collision of light and dark. Station 4, letting me know that I have dropped everything except the camera so far. Come on, get it. Get it. I would say not a full shuttle is worth half a point. It's really close. The full shuttle is, we come over here, we go like this, we get that tire up there, which does speak to positionability. Bumping on like this, to me, doesn't count. We've got to slow burn this. Make sure the dust is off, and yeah, the low speed is good. I don't want to say that in this instance the insert acts a little heavy, because I don't think it does. I think this, if anything, is more of a lug spacing issue. This is a carcass layout, not a carcass composition. This is a carcass layout issue here. This tread is not super conducive to that little section of that obstacle. We try this without a bump. That'll get you into the 9s, this without a bump, but we're not getting here without a bump. Got a lot of catch and release. We don't officially test it at this obstacle. We test the bump later. I feel like the bump score is going to do reasonably well, because this thing wants to go pretty straight under the bump. What I will say that I've gleaned so far is that the overall traction profile, it's not right there. This is the Pitbull tire that has done the best up till now here at Station 4, which I already have a number. But it's not competing with the ones at the very top. Performance at the Beast, 8.6. Starting to think I need like a lanyard. Need some sort of neck rope to carry my score sheet around on. Oh, stay on. Oh, that was so good. Oh, no tire is the best at everything. And the most we can hope for is for a tire to be in the conversation for the best at something. That little claw up there was real nice. Yeah, the XORs like it choppy more than they liked Slick Rock. I'm getting way more directional control here. And they love a low. They do love this low. Trying to find a spot to bite. Oh yeah, this positionability is really good. I will, of course, get myself into trouble because I have driven this tire for a grand total of about 12 minutes. I'm hoping to operate off of a depth and breadth of knowledge. Oh man, that was really good. That performance right there is a 9.6 with a 1/10 of a point deduction because there was some real, I'm splitting all the hairs right now. Oblivion 9.5 down from the 9.6. And when you're dropping something from a 9.6, I'm like, is that are we really punished? Maybe Velcro. I could Velcro the pencil on the board. Is that really a punishment? I mean, that was really good. So the established positionability and directionality of these tires married to the dual stages give us hope, right? Yeah. They give us hope, and they absolutely should. It wasn't the ease of the climb. That's not what I'm looking at. What I'm looking at in that situation is, does it go where I want it to go when I aim it that way? And it absolutely did. That little cut right there at Daphne's Third was in the very top, and then I think, again, we're going to have to give a tiny insert deduction there, because honestly, that was like a 9.8. That was as good as any tire has executed that. That was not just effortless, but when I pointed the wheels, they went exactly there. I'm going to settle it. Well, 9.5. 9.5. Is it an over deduction? I don't think so. I think the tires are woefully expensive, and I'm trying my very best to ignore that. And I think these being the heavier Injora style dual stage, yeah, also, I think the more I would drive these, the better they would get. The Injora foams out of the package come a little stiff. And by that, I mean the foam part. The rubber inner, if you've never encountered one, the rubber inner, the red part, feels like a kickball. Like, it is rubber. And surprisingly, that rubber doesn't shoot back a ton of energy. It has a little more energy return than a typical dual stage closed cell inner. We can get a little. Like, if you misbehave it, you can get kick and slip. But the directionality, the tendency of the vehicle to stay in line with your line through the bump is really good on these. And it will hold. So I think I'll sing it again. First part of me wants to say 9.5. The insert makes me want to say 9.3 because there's a little too much energy return. So we're going to drop right in the middle and confuse the scoring and give that a 9.4. The first 9. I don't know if someone's going to have to look back through the tallies. Have I ever given a tire a 9.4? Now, I did have to self-write this once already, because while I was busy dropping things, I basically did that and ramped it off of a rock. And it turned over even easier. I did it one-handed, in reverse. So there is something to be said for these. The extra 2 millimeters of width, whatever it may be. Oh, yeah, there it is. That is a solid bump tire. I love a tire. And also, you can think back to other tires that when I attempt that maneuver right there, they kind of can't do it. And effortless, because that directionality is, I don't know if it's even indicated enough by the scoring. The ability to position, like something about that tread pattern. It is not good at some things, but it is really good at some other things. Oh my goodness. Okay, so, that's a 9.8 on self-right, okay? If I can do that again, is it unprecedented? I don't know. Self-right, 9.9. Behind, out of frame, off camera, behind the scenes, I one-handed that. I would take the controller, I would turn it all the way one way, and I would just goose reverse. And this rig is set to 50% reverse. So if you had maybe a 75% reverse dialed in, you could do it even more easy. Like, this is reverse. That's as fast as he goes, like 1.5 miles an hour. The ability to self-right, that's the perfect self-right as far as I'm concerned. That is a perfect self-right. That is in the category of what a defender can do, because that big slab side is really easy to flip over. That is a 9.9 self-right, which is, of course, going to absolutely throw the whole score out of whack. The expectations here at the transitional stage here at Teardrop have been artificially inflated, because the directionality and the positionability and that stuff, as far as I'm concerned, that stuff has little to do with foams. This is the shape of a tire. Like, the ability to maintain a straight line while bumping. Now, this stuff, what you're seeing right here, that front end settling back down, I do believe that is the heavy Injora insert. The heavy Injora insert will also help. Oh, it might have helped the bump. Oh, I feel like we don't scribble out. Like, I gave it that score, and I think the tire is taking a lot. And I know self-contradictory theater. I had just mentioned I don't think the insert helps in that case. I think it does, because we're getting some flywheel action. The wheels, the high wheels, are acting a little heavier, so when that momentum gets going, it'll whip the rig back onto its wheels. We can't know. We won't know how it would do. I want to see if I can get right there. There's a little notch right there. You can see a little trapezoid-shaped notch. I want to get this notch right here. I'm also watching the ability of those front tires to right there. I'm watching those front tires' ability to walk up that concrete face while the rear tires are in just dirt. This surface transition ability is honestly way up there. Now, it almost did it. I was going to say it would need to have an almost supernatural level of traction to be able to pull the front end up onto that ledge, and it's very, very close. Yeah, again, that position ability is fantastic. I do not imagine that these would load with mud very badly at all. There's a lot of lug spacing. I think these would clear pretty well. And they handle dirt pretty magnificently. I guess that extra 2 millimeters of width comes through. Teardrop surface transition, 9.7. I'm 100% fine with that 9.7. We have but one thing to test, and then a rambling at the end. Yeah, I gotta think, in hindsight, in retrospect, I gotta think those inserts are helping the self-righting just a little bit. So what I'm doing, I think successfully, is ignoring the purchase price of these tires. They remind me of that overall rounded performance profile, the traction profile, the total available grip of the G8 flat iron, but with more total available grip. And I have to guess that's compound. That has to be from the compound. Yeah, these are real nice. That 9.3 at Slick Rock, after running these about a little bit, I think maybe that would improve. I think put 5 or 6 packs through these tires on these inserts, I think that forward drive here at Slick Rock moves up to like a 9.6. But there are mental considerations at play, which are, this combo maintains that score for bump and self-right. But you could adjust those a lot. You could move those around. A different insert is really going to affect these. And I think the bump would get better, and honestly, I think the self-righting might get a little worse. But I think most people are probably going to put 3Ds in here, right? I think that's what most people are going to put in their Rock Beasts. So I think the bump would get better, and I still I retain that the self-right would get a little bit worse. Get them evenly wetted here. There's definitely a loss of forward drive here. But there's the bean. There's the bean. And I would say, like, let me finagle it a little more. Maybe it's more wheel speed. Yeah, a little bit more wheel speed. So we are going to give, it's like 10-15% more wheel speed, and there's water dripping off the back bumper. So this is wet. This is properly wet. I'm debating with myself, what is the deduction? Because my first thought was quarter point. Deduct him a quarter point. But then do we round up, or we're going to round up. Quarter point, let me correct, rounded in favor. So 9.3 was the original, which I think could probably get to a 9.6. We're going to drop a quarter point, which is hair splitting again, which would be 9.05. We will round up in benefit of the XORs to a 9.1. So if we are to tally up the numbers, and we did, purely by the randomness of chance, we'd arrive at a combined aggregate score of 93 even. There are 10 functions that we test, so that is a 9.3. And as I sit here and think about it, yes, absolutely. I stand behind a 9.3. And I think this tire has the opportunity to be, I don't want to say better. I don't want to say worse. I don't even want to say different. What I want to say is this tire stands to me here in the Midwest Goodbye, in the conclusion, as unique in that I think, this is untested, though I do perhaps have some, we might get another revisit here. I think these tires, I think you can tune the traction profile. I think it's not just a matter of moving the grip sliders. I think you can manipulate this tire to move the grip to where you like it. Like where this tire didn't do the best at the Beast. It took its biggest point hit at the Beast in that pure forward drive bumpability. I think a very soft 3D printed insert, I think, would move points there, but maybe not take an equal amount of points away from another category, one of the other 10. The big, like the one that I say blew the score around, this tire behaved like a 9.3, but it had an 8.6 at one spot and a 9.9 at the other. And I think that you could tune this tire in such a way as to turn the 9 into a 9, and turn that 9.9 into like a 9.394, and turn that 8.6 into a 9. So the score is still going to be about the same, but maybe, and I think this might apply to some people more than others, maybe the importance of self-righting isn't as great as your ability to bump or to take pure forward drive. I think it's manipulable, and I think it could be tuned to surfaces. Oh, that looked really nice there for a second. Yeah, when wet, they like a little bit more. I think the 9.1 is fair. They like a little bit more throttle input, and we have seen tires that when wet behave virtually indistinguishably to how they behave when dry. The Pitbull Rock Beast XOR, there's a part of me that is like, man, I keep looking back at the scorecard and I'm like, a 93, is that the score? Like, is that? We've never had a Pitbull tire here not be mediocre. And this tire is in the conversation. The directionality of this tire and the self-righting ability of this tire are fantastic. Excellent. This whole time, making hand gestures, very Italian hand gestures behind the camera, and ignoring $45 a pair. Yikes. This is why that there's not a little blank at the bottom of the Quickview where we do a multiplication factor. But like if you cost, like I would do, here's how I would do it if I was going to do it, and we're not going to do it. You can do it at home if you'd like. We will put the Canyon, the S1 Canyon Trail at $24 a pair as a correction factor, much like how we test a servo. We will put that as a correction factor of 1.0. So if the tire scores a 93 and it costs $24 a pair for the tires, it has a correction factor of 1. So you multiply 93 times 1, you get 93. Honestly, at $45 a pair, my correction factor is like 0.9, 0.88. I haven't thought out how the curve would go, but like, we have to take that into account, right? Money is always an object. Except in the Quickview, where we do our very best to ignore it. We do our best to ignore who makes it. Sometimes we're more successful than others. But the Pitbull Rock Beast XOR in Alien is very good. A 93 is very good. And once again, we just tested a tire that was a 94.6, and I would take this over the 94.6 any day. Because I believe in that review, I referred to the performance of that tire as erratic. And this tire is the opposite of that. This tire is predictable. And that predictability for me would put the money points right back on. I also do have to take into account that a lot of people aren't putting 30 plus rigs together. So putting that kind of money into tires, that's, as they would say, par for the course. That's fine. I'm 100% with that, which is why I'm not putting a correction factor on how much the tires cost, because sometimes money is always an object, but sometimes it's not about the money. So here in the Quickview, we try to not ignore it. We try to, if not acknowledge it, but at least not ignore it. 93, that's really good. For a Pitbull tire, that is extraordinary. So I thank you one and all for watching. I invite you all to comment below, to drop a like, subscribe if you haven't. All 3 of the things that I have just listed are absolutely free. You can also participate. You can become a channel member, help the channel grow, help things like this happen. Money that comes to the Canyon goes to the Canyon. That's how it works. The Canyon, my wife told me, the Supreme Commander told me that the goal is, she goes, please let your toy car obsession take care of the toy car obsession. So self-sufficiency in the Canyon is the goal. I'm not getting guacamole on my burritos. I'm not making it rain. The goal is to make the toy cars pay for the toy cars. And some months will be a little slower than others, I mean, that's how reality works. So I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I do indeed hope very much that in between now and when we meet again, you one and all do your very best to have a good one, everybody. We'll see you again very soon here from the Canyon. Rock Beast XORs. Who would have thunk it?